Welcome to This Explainer. I really just want you to pull up a chair, sit down with me like we're having coffee at the kitchen table, and let's talk through one of the absolutely most agonizing decisions you can ever make as a parent. Look, if your child is facing bullying, you're probably feeling this intense mix of fear, anger, and just a desperate need to fix things right now. Today, we're going to look closely at what the research actually says about moving schools. We'll explore when a fresh start is truly a lifeline for your kid, and when it might actually just be a band-aid that totally misses the underlying problems.
We have to start right here, with this immediate, heartbreaking, emotional crisis. Hearing your child say, "I can't go back to that school, please move me." That triggers a fierce, protective instinct in literally every single parent. Your immediate thought is probably, okay, a new school will give them a fresh start. The bullying will finally be over. And I want to validate that feeling completely. Sometimes changing schools absolutely is the right answer, especially when a school just cannot keep a child safe. But we need to take a much closer look before we start packing up their backpack.
So let's get into the surprising truth about all this. We often think a fresh start is a magic reset, right? Well, not exactly.
While a new place can for sure break a harmful group pattern and give your child some desperately needed room to breathe, it isn't an automatic cure. And why is that? Because the trauma, the hypervigilance, and especially the online bullying, that stuff can very easily follow them right through the front doors of a brand new building. Research actually shows that while some targeted kids do way better after a move, others end up feeling incredibly lonely or worried because trying to make new friends while you're still healing from trauma is just really hard work. Because of this, official U.S. guidance advises us to keep changes to a targeted child's normal routine as small as possible. We really have to recognize the profound unfairness of automatically forcing the victimized kid to change their bus routes, their classes, or their schools. When the child who was harmed is always the one who has to pack up and leave, it accidentally sends them this terrible message: you are the problem, so you have to leave. While the kids causing the harm just get to keep their power and stay right where they are.
Okay, moving on to some common parent mistakes. It is so easy to go from panic to making rushed choices, so we need a structured plan.
When we're operating out of pure panic or rage, which is totally understandable by the way, we tend to make mistakes that can actually create brand new problems for our kids. Let's look at a few of the most common pitfalls so we can shift from a state of panic into a calm plan of action. For instance, there's the instinct to just move them in that very first wave of anger. You hear about one terrible event and you immediately say that's it, you're never going back. Now, obviously, if there's an immediate physical danger, like a weapon, an assault, or a believable threat, you get emergency help and you get them out. But if there isn't an immediate physical danger, taking a short time to calmly gather the story, write down exactly what happened, who saw it, and what the school has already tried, isn't a delay. It's actually building a much stronger foundation for whatever decision you make next.
Another really crucial point is avoiding the urge to just disappear. Some parents want to leave fast, stop talking to the old school, and just wash their hands of the whole thing. But leaving without a record is a huge mistake. You need to keep a clear paper trail: dates, messages, screenshots, meeting notes, the whole shebang. This protects your child's record and makes sure the new school gets the exact educational and health info they need to support your kid without unnecessarily spreading their private, painful stories around.
Another major trap we fall into is making friendship the child's new, exhausting full-time job. We naturally want to cheerlead and say, "Go make friends, be confident, join in." But to a kid who has just been deeply hurt, that sounds like another terrifying test they're inevitably going to fail. Instead, focus on helping them find just one single safe friend. Ask the school to connect them with just one welcoming club or one really kind student. One steady, safe connection matters so much more than being popular.
Let's look at the move decision plan. It's all about slowing down without ignoring any real danger.
We can use this really effective toolkit to frame a calm, fact-based decision. It's designed to slow your decision-making process down, but entirely without ignoring any real danger to your child. We use the acronym MOVE. M stands for measure. Measure their safety right now by checking for any threats, sudden changes in their sleep, or drops in attendance. O is observe. Observe the school's actual response. We are looking for concrete actions here, like a named adult or a written plan, not just vague promises that things will get better. V is view. Calmly view both choices by literally writing down the gains and losses of staying versus moving. And finally, E is equip. Equip the next step. If you decide to stay, you strengthen that safety plan. If you move, you prep the new school and set up regular check-ins.
So, how do we pace this? Let's talk about the 72-hour window, which is basically your timeline for crisis management.
When a crisis hits, you absolutely cannot accept an endless wait. But rushing a transfer is super dangerous too. To navigate this, we pace your decision over exactly 3 days. In the first 24 hours, your one and only job is securing immediate physical safety and health. Keep your child home if the situation is unsafe while you contact the right adults. Over the next 24 hours, you meet with the current school. You demand a clear, written safety plan and a specific review date. Write down exactly what they're going to do. Finally, by 72 hours, you compare the real plans. Don't ask yourself, which choice ends my worry the fastest? Ask, which choice has the absolute strongest real plan for my child's safety?
Okay, next up is asking the right questions. We want practical safety over vague promises.
As you evaluate those plans, you're going to need the exact right vocabulary. It is time to interrogate both the current school and any prospective new schools. We have got to move past generic reassurances and demand practical safety measures. Here is the bold, direct question you must ask the current school. Not next month, not next semester. What will keep my child safe tomorrow? You are demanding immediate, practical action rather than empty comfort. You should also be asking, which specific adult is going to check in? What exactly will change in the physical places where the bullying happened? And when, specifically, will we sit down to review if this plan is actually working?
And hey, if you're considering a new school, do not just trust a beautiful building, high test scores, or a shiny reputation. You need to ask these targeted questions before you ever enroll. Who actually receives the bullying reports here? How quickly are parents contacted? Where are your blind spots, like the places with the least adult supervision? And crucially, how exactly do you help a newcomer make friends, and who is going to be checking in on them during that super vulnerable first month? Listen closely for clear, actionable answers. If they say, "Oh, we have no bullying here," that is a huge red flag. A truly safe school expects problems and already has a solid plan for them.
All right, let's talk about the first 30 days. This is all about managing the transition and those tricky digital realities. Let's say you've used the move plan, you've asked the tough questions, and you've decided that a transfer is indeed the absolute best, safest choice for your child. Well, the work doesn't stop on their first day of classes. We need to set very realistic expectations for this transition, and that absolutely has to start with managing their digital world. Please remember that digital realities follow you. Group chats, rumors, and shared photos, they cross school district lines effortlessly. You need to review privacy settings and plan how to handle incoming messages. But, and this is key, do not tell your child to just disappear from every online space. The goal here is safe use, not social punishment. Your child shouldn't have to lose all their safe contacts, their online hobbies, and their healthy friendships just because other people behaved horribly. Here's your roadmap for those vital first 30 days at a new school. In week 1, ensure they know exactly who their trusted adult is, what their daily route looks like, and what the plan is for lunch, because honestly, lunch can be the scariest part of the day for a new kid. In weeks 2 and 3, keep an eye on their sleep and ask short, calm questions like, "Did you feel safe today?" rather than intensely interrogating them. Finally, at the end of the month, send a quick update to the school and take a moment to celebrate the small wins. Do not demand that they have a perfect, happy new life instantly. It takes time.
Which brings us to the final choice, making the absolute right call for your child.
As we wrap this up, I really want to reframe how we view this massive decision. Changing schools isn't always running away, and staying isn't always being strong. Try to solve the problem where it began, if the school is actually willing to act, but never ever keep a child in a harmful setting just to prove a point. The final choice is simply about finding the best, most realistic chance for your child to be safe, to learn, and to heal. Remember this, the school door may change in one day. Feeling safe again usually takes longer. Your child's nervous system has been on high alert for a long time. If they come home from the new school feeling relieved in the morning but sad at night, or if they're still watching out for every whisper in the hallway, the move hasn't failed. It just means they're human. So I'll leave you with this. How can you and the caring adults at their new school patiently support your child as they rediscover what it feels like to truly be safe? And more importantly, are you prepared to give them the grace and time they need to truly heal rather than just expecting a quick fix? To dig deeper into the research on building those crucial safety plans, check out the full source material for this explainer. You're doing a great job navigating a terribly hard thing. We'll see you next time.